Nugget's story really starts with his parents and actually his grandparents. So his mom is Duckie. So Duckie's daddy is Cool Smart, and Cool Smart's daddy is Smart Little Nina. That line is very well known for cutting. Here is a picture of Duckie's father and full brother in some cutting competition. And so Doc's Gin on the Rocks, that lower line, her dams line, are all very, very well versed in cutting. And so Epic Titan's line is very well versed in reining. The purpose of reining is to show a ranch horse's athletic ability, and it's usually shown in the confines of an arena to level the playing field and make sure that the variables have been equalized one competitor to the next, versus cutting where they're actually working with a cow and they need to move that cow in specific maneuvers using the horse to block and change direction and things like that. So that is why reining and cutting are two completely different sports.
Thank you, Andrea. Andrea Papani.
What's really interesting is that both Gunner and his son Titan are deaf, and that gene has been passed along to a couple of Epic Titan's offspring, but only if the white part of the face covers the eyes. If the white part of their face does not cover their eyes, they tend to be able to hear. Therefore, Nugget is able to hear. When I first originally got Duckie, the idea all along was to breed her using those fabulous Little Lena genetics, but I just could not for the life of me find the right stallion for her. And then Clinton Anderson announced that Titan would be standing at stud in Weatherford, Texas. So when I bred her the first year and had semen shipped in, we actually missed her ovulation cycle by just a few hours, which was really frustrating because it was at the end of his showing season. So I ended up having to wait a full year from 2018 to 2019 in order to breed Duckie. And she's pregnant for 11 months. And so it was basically going to be a 2-year delay before I was able to get a baby on the ground. So that was really frustrating. Satellite, are you talking to Duckie? Satellite. Will you tell her to have that baby already? Pretty please? Oh, hi. Hi. You're a sweet kitty. The other thing that was kind of cool about this was the next year, Titan was sold to Silver Spurs in Scottsdale, Arizona. So I was simply able to just take Duckie to them and do a fresh semen IVF instead of a cooled shipped semen IVF. So it increases chances of the mare becoming pregnant. And so Nugget was conceived on my birthday in 2019. And so he was expected to be born March 2nd of 2020. And that little booger went way overdue. Nugget ended up being born at 370 days. And a normal gestation for a horse is around 340. When you get above that, you end up being considered what's called an elephant mare. And it's basically because elephants' gestation is a full year. Okay, Facebook, this is it. Duckie's having a baby. This is day 370. Oh my gosh. I hope everybody is, if anybody, tiny nose. Come on, baby girl. Push. Come on, girl. Come on, baby girl. Come on, baby girl. You can do this. I know it hurts, kiddo. That's interesting. Oh, everybody, thank you for watching with me. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. I'm gonna cry.
Oh, it's a babe. Oh my god, it's a babe. Okay, I'm going to go in and this is that.
Let me see if I can pull this baby out a little bit more. Come on, sweet baby. Come on. Come on, little guy. Come on out all the way. There you go. There you go. Oh, nicker in it, baby. You nicker in it to baby. Not much white. Still looks redhead though to me. Hi, baby. Oh. Welcome to the world, little guy. I think you're a boy. I don't know if you're a girl, boy or not. Come on. Come on out of there. Let's see if you're a boy or a girl. It's a boy. It's a boy. Dang it, it's a boy. It's a boy. So when he was born, he was coming out obviously very wet, and it darkened his coat, which is why you could hear me say it's a bay.
Duckie, your big knees, beautiful. Duckie. I'm here. You did so good. I'm so proud of you. You did so good. You did. He's up again. He's leggy.
And when he was born and I found that he was a redhead, I was actually pretty disappointed because I absolutely adore bays. Duckie's a bay, my first horse that I ever had. Hickory, he was a bay. And so I had this picture in my mind of what I wanted, and a sorrel wasn't it. And I think it was because everywhere you look, there's a sorrel horse. They just don't seem to be unique. They're just a dime a dozen type thing. And then when I looked to see if it was a boy or a girl and found that it was a boy, I was again disappointed because I really wanted to keep the genetics that I had fought so hard to get, and I wasn't set up for a stallion. And so I was going to end up having to make the decision to geld him, you know, in a year or two after. So I really had my heart set on a bay filly, and I ended up getting a sorrel colt. So that was a little frustrating for me. So it took a little while for me to just absolutely fall in love with him. And that happened a few days after he was born. But that did not stop Duckie. She was absolutely enamored with this little baby. She could not stop staring at it. On my cameras, I would find her laying down next to him at night and just looking at him. And then she would reach over and just sniff him because he just had that newborn baby smell. And I think we've all experienced that. But she was in love with little Nugget. And she trusted me to work with him. She would check in with me to see what I was doing with him. But she was just as fabulous of a mare as I could have hoped for, especially for a maiden mare, which is a first-time mom. So I'm so proud of Miss Duckie. So if you followed me on my page for the last few months especially, you'll see that there has been multiple babies born at my farm since, like, I think March was the first one. And I have taught them how to lead, and I've imprinted them, things like that. And this is how I did it. I didn't ever really make a video detailing how I did it, but you'll see it here with Nugget. So I'm basically just kind of guiding him. I'm not pulling him. It's not in the neck, it's in the bum. And so I'm just directing his angle, or his direction, I guess, for a better word, with his neck, but I'm propelling him forward through the rope going around his bum. And all I want him to do is move forward. It does not matter which really direction he's going, is just go forward. You'll also see me kind of poking him on the bum, and I'm trying to get him to disengage his hindquarters and step the leg that is closest to me in front of the leg that's furthest away from me. And the idea is if I can get a hold of his hind end, which is basically his gas pedal, then I'll be able to control the speed of the car and steer the car easier when he becomes the age to be able to ride and brake.
Mom is so worried.
No, she's not worried. She's not worried at all.
I'm continuing it.
Look at that! Look how smart he is! Do you see how smart he is? You see?
And he's so, like, calm to the tractor noise. He doesn't care about it.
I will also start teaching him how to back up by grabbing the rope around his neck and just lightly pulling and increasing the pressure slightly until he gives to that pressure and backs up. So the idea with horses is they don't learn from pressure, they learn from the release of pressure. So when they attempt to do something to get that pressure to go away and the pressure actually goes away, then that's their signal to say, oh, that's what she wanted me to do.
Go backwards. Back. Back. And then we forward and around. We're still working on this one. There we go. Ooh, ooh. He got a little crazy. Okay, then I gotta do the other side.
You'll also notice in those videos that Duckie is never very far away. She's checking in multiple times with me and with her baby to make sure everything is okay. If her baby ever signaled any sort of distress, she would definitely come to the rescue. And then you'll see as he does something correct and I release that pressure and rub it away, or I rub on his body, I'm purposely rubbing down his bum and down his back legs. And I'm starting him getting used to the idea that I'm going to be touching his legs and eventually picking his legs up.
I found a dicky spot underneath his neck.
So at 3 days old, I was allowing Duckie and Nugget to go out of their stall into a pasture completely by themselves just to stretch their legs. And Duckie did not like the fact that they were out of the safety net of that little stall and became very helicopter mom. And it's very cute to see all of the neighbors' horses like a tennis match, watching the baby go back and forth and back and forth. It's very, very cute. So after they were out in the pasture for a little while, I went ahead and introduced Zazie, which is the Palomino you'll see here, into the same pasture with Duckie and Nugget. Zazie had been Duckie's pasture mate the entire time that she was pregnant, and I really wanted to make sure that that relationship continued after, but I did not want to risk Zazie stealing Nugget from Duckie and having a fight ensue. And so Duckie wasn't chasing Zazie off anymore, but she wouldn't quite let Zazie get close enough to investigate or meet Nugget, and that's very much a new mom thing to do, is she controls when and how her baby is introduced to the rest of the herd. And a couple of days later, I was in the barn and just happened to look over into the pasture that they were in, only to find that Nugget had gotten through the fence into the other pasture with other horses, and Duckie could not get back over there to get him or to protect him from the other adult horses that were apparently trying to kill Nugget. His heart rate was just unreal. We were able to get Nugget and get him back over to the proper side of the fence, and Nugget ran over to Duckie and was just like panicked, like, "Mom, where were you? I needed you," that type of thing. It was really sweet. And as newborn babies, they're not used to running that hard. I was able to lay him down and give him a really good once over and make sure that he wasn't hurt, that there was no wounds or anything like that on him.
Stepping in front.
Stepping in front 3 times in a row. We're making progress.
And then he was able to lay in my lap and calm down and just know that he was safe. This right here was the moment that I fell in love with Nugget, and that in every way, color, markings, sex, it didn't matter. He was my perfect boy, and I wanted a sorrel colt more than I wanted a bay filly. So it was sad that it took like something panicking like this, but it was this episode that made me fall in love with my Nugget.